managed to shake it off, and hopefully the same can be said for the rookie in the mid lane. Poby going to be kicking himself for that mistake, but I remember the flash incinerate at the Baron pit that actually won them the team fight. If that hadn't have happened, then that mistake wouldn't have even had a chance.
And again, if you're Poby was called up after Bay was let go after a pretty middling summer.
No Baselander. There's no Baselander on my team.
Oh no, because after Bay left, they recently lost.
Yeah, things didn't look as good.
No, they didn't. I was ramping up to that.
Okay, good.
But it really speaks. There are a ton of players and challengers that are exceptional that would still struggle being called into any LCK team. And then you have a player that is fresh out of academy, with almost no experience, that is called up to replace the best player of all time. Just
yeah. There's not been a lot of players that have survived. I mean, I think Closer and Easy Hoon probably did it the best. Pyrian certainly struggled back in the day. It's not an easy task here for Poby.
For Easy Hoon, because he's, it's Easy Hoon. So
it's easy. Easy like
there you go. Talking about look,
there it is.
Immediate Azir to come through
I think
here.
Obviously Garen is the counter pick here to the Azir. You love to see it. I'm actually very sad that we didn't. Like, there was a brief moment where Garen was kind of playable. But it just never happened.
What, with Yuumi?
Because, the thing is, people really struggle to get to the mechanical mastery level required to really utilize the Garen.
Because the skill floor is so high.
Yeah, that's the thing. The skill floor is high, but then the ceiling is even higher.
Monumental.
Yeah. So they're not going to do it. They're not going to risk it because they just don't think anyone on the team is mechanically capable to play the Garen to the level required.
There have been rumors that only if you are a true League of Legends AI, you can play Garen to his highest peak. As we do pick the Sejuani up, this time was banned. Last time around, not available as we get the Xayah and Kai'Sa handshake. Now I do think that specifically the poke variety of Xayah, or Kai'Sa rather, I don't go poke Xayah, that's not a thing anymore, definitely has a better matchup and isn't as reliant, but if you are going for the AD variety, then that really changes a lot of things, as might be still a flex pick, although we haven't seen Cassante mid in the longest time. He has actually been playing this, but obviously we're just going to wait and see what actually happens. And it might just be a Crocodile. Kana is very, very well acquainted with the pick. They have already shown that they're happy to not ban the Rumble, which I think frees up a little bit of matchups as well. And Kana just taking the hitter, saying, hey, I'm probably going to get counterpicked here, but it provides a lot more flexibility for my support pick and for the mid pick. Also, this is D+, so maybe there's some crazy you flex Sejuani top and Renekton mid. I don't think that will happen at all, but it's D+, so I feel like I'm obliged to mention at least some crazy
Hey, we're not on 13-13 yet, so Nidalee hasn't got her added 5% movement speed, and so therefore Renekton Nidalee isn't quite as likely on this patch, Chronicler.
Thank you.
Just for your information.
Very happy to hear that.
Yep. GP and the Jax going to both be banned away here to protect the Renekton pick. Still plenty of things for Zeus to play, namely his Gnar being there. Gnar Azir, something that T1 have really enjoyed playing in the past. Sylas going to be banned away here as well, setting up for that Gnar pick, but the Rel going to be coming through. And of course, Rel, when there's no opportunity to pick an Alistar, is a difficult one. And also, this is actually much better for Bible. He loves his engaged support.
You saw him go like, hey.
Oh yeah, he's a happy
Also, why am I feeling like Showmaker's going to pull it like Kassadin?
Yeah.
I don't know where, Showmaker counterpicks are never, they're never what you expect. It's always something weird. Obviously, the other one that we have actually seen come up.
Is it the Swain angle?
Oh God! Even D+
no one's
don't
ready.
Play Swain anymore.
No one's ready.
As Oner again going to get a pick with a lot of agency. I do think this draft leans itself a lot better to a Lee as opposed to Viego. This is not looking like a find target, kill target draft. So Viego loses a lot of his power.
This is also it's a bit rude because Poby's the odd man out. Because everyone else is red. There's the Oner picked up for Showmaker. A little bit of mixed damage. Okay. And we've seen Yone's be very, very effective. I don't know whether Showmaker has necessarily played it so far this season. Let me have a quick little check. And no, Hasn't actually tried his hand at the Oner so far, but of course has been one of our melee mid lane extraordinaires. Him, Zeka, and Chovy are definitely the ones that you think about. When it comes to Yone, PDD is in that conversation as well, but has been a pick into the Azir that we have seen work and horrendously not work. It depends on the day.
Yeah.
I was going to say it depends on the player, but it doesn't. It depends on the day. It's like Zeka has either been incredible, has had some of the best moments I've ever seen on the champion this season, and then also...
There's one guy you can trust, and that's Chovy. If Chovy locks Yone, I'm always a believer, and I was in Zeka until that one game. I do gotta say, I love the draft angle that T1 has here. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is that they are lacking a decent amount of pressure in lanes, right? Zyra is all right in absorbing, but you're not expected to have mid lane prio, you're not expected to have top lane prio, and actually getting through the early game is going to be the main challenge, but this entire draft is very straightforward to play. It's as easy of a front to back as it gets, and I think it also takes away a lot of pressure of Poby. We saw in the previous game with the Annie, if you don't go for the big engages, pick doesn't really do a whole lot. Azir doesn't necessarily have the same burden, particularly when you have a high DPS carry like the Xayah, and it's dive. It's backline dive.
Yes.
It's very straightforward.
This is something that they have been doing for 4 years. As an organization, something that they do relatively well. We'll see whether it works out. So we hop into the Rift here for Game 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the second game of the series, and I just want it to be as explosive as Game 1, and it'd be nice if T1 won, because then we'd get another one, and that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Because we may not get as much longevity out of our second series this evening.
Zeus
no.
Flash.
I think he may be flashing here, yes. If there is ever an angle where you're like, I think I should flash, that is it. You kind of know.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Well, you do, but then you die. And then
it was death or flash.
You pick flash.
Yes, you certainly.
Well, I say that.
Have you seen that Eddie Izzard skit, Cake or Death?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
No.
If you guys have got a few moments after the series in the break,
talking about,
just
show it to me afterwards.
Yeah, I'll show it to you afterwards.
Nice.
And you can just pop it into Google. It's there with some Lego animations in the Death Star. It's absolutely fantastic.
That sounds wonderful.
Yep. Big recommend from me. As Oner going to be starting off on his Raptors. And red buff start here for Canyon. Probably going to be seen if he does head down towards his Raptor camp for the second one. Might go for the full clear and go for Prob's second. Showmaker finds himself a knock-up onto Poby. Poby should be all right here, but you dodge the Sand Soldiers and you feel pretty good in a lot of these matchups these days into the Azir. Thankfully, we're not at the time where Azir wins mid, late, early, and everything in between.
Yeah, that was an era that lasted like, what, 5 years?
Yeah, it was a long time. I think there might have been like some brief moments where Azir wasn't played every single game, but then we immediately got back to it.
Well, as soon as we could, we went back to it because we like our comfort picks. You know, we wanna keep everything as it is. As level 2 is hit, but Bible's not gonna.
Oh, he's not dead.
Yeah, improvement.
Definitely.
As it turns out, Bible on engage reports is a little bit better. Who could have known?
Well, most of us.
Yeah, no, we did know.
Yep.
If you're familiar with Bible from Challengers.
Or from the LCK last year.
Yeah, he was there for a bit as well. Or even if you've just been watching every D+ game now. I also want to highlight something. I think that the Kai'Sa specifically, as a, Oner is really good at Lee.
He's quite good at Lee Sin, yes.
This is not a new piece of information, but the Lee buffs have given a lot of our players, both internationally and here in the LCK, yet again an excuse to just pick Lee. We'll see if...
is Canyon still here? Yes, he is.
He gets found by the E.
Yeah, seen by the Tempest, but the Permafrost comes in. There's the Arctic Assault to follow him, and Canyon should be able to find this. The Q doesn't work, and that is first blood. Canyon lurking in the jungle. And that's a 2 versus 1. Bristle and Sejuani, it's not fair at all.
Yeah, because if he actually gets the Q, if the red buff isn't still leashed, then he might be able to get out. Although Canyon did still his flash, so it might be a tough situation nonetheless. But unfortunately for Oner, uses his skills on his buff.
Unfortunately, I see what you said. Yeah, I see what you did there. That was cute.
And that is a really big swing, because as you pointed out last game, Oner has really just had Kenyon's number for as long as they've played against one another, right? Because obviously we did have Oner like come in at the end of 2021, but that wasn't really, you know, the roster was still very young at that point.
Swapping around with LM as well.
Exactly.
At that point in time.
Was Cuz also still there?
It was like Cuz, Oner, and LM all playing at the same time at one point.
Yeah, I don't want to.
It was a weird time.
It was experimental, but you know how you have like good experimental music and then some stuff where you're like, no, we've gone too far.
Yeah, like there's like really like artsy, cool experimental music,
like, oh,
and then there's hitting a pot and pan. Without any rhythm, and you're like, but it's music, you just don't understand.
No, but it's like polyrhythmic. If you just no, I don't want to do math for my music.
No thanks.
Okay, as take another look here. Q already being used, and by the time the E comes out, Kenyon is more than ready. And Sejuani this early on, like, gets the aftershock proc as well, is so deceptively strong. Kenyon, again, also did have flash. Sejuani's cooldowns are pretty long early on, so I'm not 100% certain if he would have gotten the kills. Oner returning the favor!
Okay, well, Kenyon is gonna, that's double buff Sejuani, and that's a Q that's going to miss. So Oner is gonna get permanently frosted here. He's just dead again. And he's going to have a giggle in the player cam, as you can see. He kind of knew that he was caught out with nowhere to go, and this one has started a fair bit worse than Game 1 Chronicle. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'll just say it.
Yeah, so the T1 composition is really good if you don't fall behind in the early game, because it has an incredible amount of power, and Lee is kind of supposed to be your bridge. Because if you look at the 2v2, Sejuani, Yone, terrifying. Crocodile Boar combination, also, don't want to get anywhere near that.
No.
And
we just saw an example of that, actually.
Well, I mean, it didn't even really need that's the worst part. It's really just the piggy getting the work done here, and it looked like they were looking for an opportunity or an angle on Kana, but there was so much vision in the river, so he actually just got spotted. And then, you don't win the 2v2 at all. Like, not even a little bit. So, unfortunately, does end up going down.
Yeah, and D+ fans pretty elated seeing Kenyon pop off. Of course, he does need 6 assists. Currently has 1, so 5 more to go until he hits that 3,000 assists milestone.
Watch this be like a bloodthirsty Sejuani game. He actually doesn't
he's going to take all the kills and 5 assists. That's what's going to happen this game.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we can see
Why
it
would
now.
you say that?
But, you know, he might make it to 1,000 POG points. That's something that Kenyon has done most seasons of his career, which is just insane.
Even when we're like, oh yeah, Kenyon is not playing that well right now.
Still finds himself accidentally with like at least 800.
It's just the reality of D+, right? And you'd say Kenyon, but he's only been on one team, so we don't really have any comparison. Since the beginning, it's been about enabling him, and that used to be really good in the carry meta back in 2020, and then we had some years where carry junglers were not necessarily as great, some years where he didn't really mesh with the meta, the Morgana Rumble days.
Utility meta is not for Kenyon.
Even in
herbivore,
Spring,
like farming meta, fantastic, and killing meta, fantastic.
He's playing Sejuani in this one.
No, that's killing meta. That's how that one goes.
It actually is.
And he's going to have a Sunfire Cape, so he's going to have like the biggest damage item possible.
Ox is going to be so proud of him.
No, exactly.
Oh, we're not done. Maybe he wants to see if Scuttle's there and then realizes that it is in fact gone. No.
No, don't tell me.
No.
Oh, no. Okay, Ornhorn going to be thrown out here as Canna is going to be denied. Manages to knock him away. Zeus, just an absolute pro, as Canna going to have to get out of there. Showmaker moving over. Poby gets a ward down. It's spotted by D+.
No.
I would not go for that.
No, okay, he did.
Yeah. Woo! Okay, well, he didn't die again. So there we go.
Yeah, so the problem still is you have no top lane pressure at all.
You always focus on the negatives, Chronicler.
Maybe bot lane pressure.
Keria, they do manage to get the ulti out from Bible. Keria diving forward. Does have the ignite ticking, but not going to be doing too much there. Just pressing some R buttons for our supports. Enjoying it. They do get the flash out of Deft. That is certainly good news.
Did you just say that I always focus on the negative?
Yeah, I did. Isn't it funny?
Yeah, it is.
As Oner is diving in, manages to follow Showmaker there, but he just goes back to his soul. He's fine. The E button, pretty powerful here for Showmaker. He has pressed it before any sort of action.
Yeah, if he doesn't get the Q there, though, he might have actually been taken down. Oner did a flash available, so could have gone for a flash kick. And yeah, Bible going in there on the previous play was definitely a risky call because Def didn't have 6. So I think it was just trying to dissuade Keria and Guma. But Keria and Guma are actually smashing this lane.
Yes.
Like, we haven't really been talking about it yet. And it's time to focus on the positives.
Hey, there we go.
You know, I want to
There's
try
the Chronicler we know.
I want to try and counteract, you know, all the negativity that I've been putting out. Being 20 CS up, give or take, will be 16 by the time that they both back, is not something that we often see. And it is also another sign of how comfortable Guma and Keria are on this combo, right? This is the combo that got them the final game win against KT in a match that looked almost impossible to win, that they've been relying on so often, that they teamfight with exceptionally well. Will it be enough, though? Because Guma has one ultimate as Showmaker.
Keria is going to accidentally interrupt Keria. That was a thing that could happen.
Huh. Well,
cute little outcome there. Q going to miss from Oner.
Because D+, their composition works on either Bible or Showmaker or Canyon or Kana goes in, and any combination of those will work as well, as long as it's in cohesion.
Yep.
And then whoever sets it up gets followed, and then Deft ults in, and then they kill someone.
Yes.
That's the...
And it probably won't be Gumayusi because he has his R button.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have his R button, it's definitely Gumayusi.
Well, yeah, there's also situations where if you are forced to like use it early, then you might still be the guy going. Because this is a composition that's lacking damage, particularly with Oner already being set on a pretty substantial deficit.
Whoa. Well, there is an ultimate used by Showmaker, and Poby held his. Yeah, actually pretty cute from the young player, making sure that he has ult advantage in this lane.
I think, Showmaker was trying to go for the buffer so that if he does get shuffled back, he makes his way back over. Had to respect as well because Oner was there, so if he does get shuffled back, might not get the opportunity, but nicely done. And this is exactly the type of players that we want to see. You're just trying to passively take away the pressure from D+. If this goes to late, obviously, D+, based on some mispositions of individual members of T1, can always win. I think their sidelining is also quite strong. No one really answers Yone at all. But outside of that, you know, if you get to late game, this comp.
No, this is like wonderful. The quintessential teamfight comp.
It's a Gen G comp in 2022. That's what it is.
I mean, it could have been a Jinx, right?
Yeah.
Instead of a Xayah.
Sure.
And then you'd be pretty happy. If you would, well, you'd find it very familiar if you're a Gen G fan, but
and it goes back like a lot of years as well.
Yeah, this is definitely the T1 version of it, and honestly, like, yeah, like it probably should be a Gnar instead of an Ornn, but it's basically the same thing. As Canna is grabbing some plates here, he'll slice and dice and do some other things, but Permafrost is going to be used by Canyon in mid lane. Not too much more is going to be collected as Keria trying to clear out a control ward. Gumayusi rotating over, and Oner is going to be here as well. Crashdown gets Bible out of there, but there's the Q. The flash comes back, and Bible, he can't even Magnet Storm. Now the Sand Soldiers are getting involved, and they cannot take down Oner. Canna's teleported in, though. There's the Culver Meat. They know everything's going everywhere. Sand Soldiers, Rams, Crocodiles are dead, and now Canyon has to get out. He does manage to keep that bounty alive, but it's a good fight back for T1.
Ooh, important there is that D+ do look like they still have priority here, but the kills not traded in their favor. Will end up giving up 2. Teleports also used for both top laners here, but crucially, health bars are still fine for D+, so they will be able to pick up a second dragon. See what this ends up being. Zeus, though, stayed alive, whereas Kana didn't, so will be able to get himself a plate for his efforts. Yeah, casual plate on the big old scaling Ram user. He wanders back towards the top lane after a great ult in mid. And we saw some of the team-fighting power for T1 used pretty early on, and of course this isn't where the composition hits its power spike. Yes, you can see that there is a Sunfire Cape done for Zeus, so he has a lot of battle availability. But outside of that, it's 2 items, 3 items that T1 are really looking for as Keria going for the engage, and Bible. Not a whole lot of options here as the Magnet Storm used so late in this one. Yeah, didn't really have an opportunity with the CC chain, and then by the time he used it, probably should have just sat on it. Really nice use here, in particular, of T1, of the early prio that they got. Gumayusi actually rotating way earlier, gave him the confidence, because initially that looked a little bit dicey, right? Because you go in on a Rel, who generally not your #1 target, but while the kill trade works out for T1, when we look at the gain for DK in the end, I don't think it's the end of the world, and them getting 2 dragons could have been great if this was a really big soul. I actually think Ocean is probably the worst one that was still available, given how I expect a lot of the D+5 to play out.
As Poby is going to look for Showmaker here, who does manage to ult, pulls Poby back. Q going to be avoided, nicely done by Showmaker. And Oner and Poby not going to be able to find the Yone here in the side lane.
And yeah, as I was saying, I actually think that Cloud is like, it's up there. Infernal and Hextech obviously are
I mean, obviously
in a league of their own. But well, I'm not, I know you, but maybe chat doesn't know how good Cloud Soul is. And I wanted to just give you the opportunity to talk about it for a bit.
I mean, you said that Cloud Soul wasn't as good as like Hextech Soul and Infernal Soul, the obviously inferior souls to Cloud. And that's just really weird.
Trying to create some space for your
Well, Bible is going to crash down and look to try and get out. Does have a little bit of a stun on his weight, as Voidseeker is going to find Gumayusi, but as you can see, Oner in the vicinity. D+ not going to be able to find too much more. They do get a bit of damage onto Bible, who has been testing his limits, let's just say, quite a bit in this series. Zeus going to move on down, and it should be second Herald. Going over to T1 relatively comfortably.
Showmaker has TP. Are they actually going to commit? It looks like they will.
Yeah, and Shirley is still pretty healthy. Bible does have that Magnet Storm available. Voidseeker starting to connect here as Cannon's going to move in. There's the Ram, there's the Flash, but the Rel's going to be taken down immediately. Great knock-up from Zeus into the backline as well, as Canyon's trying to get the work done, but they have no Kai'Sa. Oner will be taken out, and now it's up to Showmaker, the last remaining damage dealer, really. Although Canner is pretty strong, but still, great fight for T1 and Zeus, man. This guy's Orn's pretty good.
It's also Keria getting such a high value cancel. Bible really not having the performance that we've seen of him in challengers on the Rel. Tried to look for an engage, but got taunted and straight up 100 to 0'd without getting the CC down, not really able to get a lot of value out of his Glacial Augment, not CCing anyone on the enemy team. And as a result, T1 able to actually pick up 2 quick kills, but as per last time, just the threat of the Freeman unit of Renekton, Sejuani, and Yone dissuades T1 from actually going for the objective, and it will be D+ picking up the Herald in the end, which should set them up for a very early soul point here. Also, Deft going for the really AP-heavy variant. Looks like he will be going for probably a Ludens second here, although he might still go Nashers and then go Ludens later on with the Sorkman boots. And given his damage profile on his team, I think that makes complete sense.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Voidseekers, if he's going to land them in the late game, are going to be pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that Deft has always been a fan of lethality, Varus, and things like this. As the outer turret going to be taken, that is going to be first brick secured by DK. Still retaining about a 3,000 gold lead, but as you can see, T1's prowess in teamfights is still absolutely there.
As Bible tries to go in, flashes in, but gets hit by the Keria taunt.
Yeah.
And that means that Keria immediately gets backline access, and they take down Deft, but then this is the problem. Like, this Freeman unit is
still really strong.
It's so strong at this point in the game, and that's why they don't really want to try and hard force. Keria also low, so you would be down and effectively fighting a 3v3 into that. Don't want to take the risk, but now Soul Point is on the table here. If D+ is able to actually utilize this Herald, they also have a good amount of control in the river, but Keria is trying to turn that around. Should be able to here.
Yep. We'll be able to get rid of a bunch of that vision. You can see there's still a lot peppered around towards that bottom side. You can see where the focus is for both of these teams. Voidseeker going to find Gumayusi not starting to do that much damage with only the Static Shiv and the Sork Boots. Does want to have that first real AP item before things really get going. And the evolution, of course. And Canna has teleported in already, him and Zeus, now towards the bottom side, the two of them.
That's a big crocodile. That's you can make a movie about that crocodile. Already has his Black Cleaver done.
There is actually
this early on. Well, there's a lot.
Yeah. The one that I'm thinking about is not great. It's not Australia's best work in cinema. not going to lie to you. But still, there are a few of them, so maybe I'm just thinking of the one that isn't very good. Is Canyon going to try to interrupt, but does not manage to do so. Keria still finds the knockup, and Canyon, his Aftershock is now on cooldown.
Yeah. Aftershock and Frost Armor both going to be down for a little bit here, as we will start up the Dragon. This time Oner is leased in, but yeah, diving into this enemy team is very risky.
Oh, Showmaker looks for it here as they do look for the ult, but they don't quite get there. Canna gets into the backline though as Poby's down so low. Deft dives in amongst everyone, and is going to be able to get these kills. Gumayusi now running for the hills, and it's not going to work out. D+, that's the sort of team fighting that we were waiting for.
And this is just making me wonder why Showmaker doesn't pick Yone more often, Atlas, because man, that fight started off with Showmaker going in. Kana, as we get the free K assists here for Canyon.
Managed to get 3 assists in that fight, maybe 4. There we go, okay. 3001. A Canyon Odyssey.
Canyon? What a player. Gets it done. Not the bloodthirsty.
No.
Bloodthirsty.
107. It's like he was looking for
again.
Assists.
Watch this. Also, like the timing here with Kana coming in. The crown is popped, goes down, and T1 looks a little disjointed. We have some people starting a fight on the top half of the map, and if there is a highway to your backline, this comp will take it, and they make it look easy. And you know, Canyon, cool that you get your 3,000 assists, but I think if you want to get the POG vote, you gotta work a little harder in this one.
I mean, he killed Oner twice in the early game. I think he's still doing all right.
Double invaded. He has 100%
yeah, 100%.
Might still get it. I know. I just
and he's not 2,000 gold ahead. So that's
he's only 1K on Sejuani. It's a lead. How dare he? Also, Kana, you know.
Just really? Casually doing really well, yeah.
But this is something that I think he did in spring so much as well, where it's like they just started, even Renekton wasn't mad, they just started banning it because this always happened.
Yep.
And
he's actually very good at finding flanks. Now we've got a Baron.
Oh, all or nothing here.
Yeah, Zeus just got the call of Forge God back up and available. Showmaker rebinds his soul once again. Poby has the crown available, and here it is. The Ram's going to come forward. He does get the flash, but not a whole lot of value as Keria trying to dive back out of there. The redive comes in, though, and Showmaker gets into the backline. They're all knocked on top of the Crocodile. It's a disaster. Double kill for Showmaker, and D+, they can move back to the Baron. Looks like T1 are running out of fight.
And game number 1. Oh,
wait. Oh no, he finds the Void Seeker! There's the immediate double! And D+ will take the Baron, like we were talking about. How did he know? Oh, they had a ward. Did they have a ward? No, I didn't see the ward!
It was blind. It was blind.
Even Jonas Strong, he's like looking around, it's like, where the heck is that ward?
No, I think they didn't. They might have had an inkling. We might see a replay of that one. Game number 1 was close. There was a lot of back and forth. Game number 2, not so much.
Not anymore. There was some times where we were a little bit like waiting for something to happen, but this wasn't quite it for Zeus. Didn't quite find anyone with his Call of the Forge God, and then Showmaker, the access to the backline, even this kick with Canna coming in, and it's Gore Drinker and Q on top of 3 squishies, I think.
Yeah, this comp with the lead it's really hard to play. They did have a ward like further down, so that might have been what spotted it. And to be fair, even without Deft getting that specific hit, they would have checked just to make sure.
And now we're approaching a 9,000 gold lead.
No, this is, well, you know, it's never over, but this is Sejuani as opposed to a Nidalee, so I think
you think my hair would be safe this time?
I think our scalps are okay this time around.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not betting. Although T1 fans probably want me to. You should ask. Okay, Gumayusi, it's a decent cleanse, but he's still dead. Can't cleanse that.
Yeah. Canyon, man.
Yeah, he just finds the angles. And even if you do have the summoner spell to try and get you out, he didn't have, like, Featherstorm just came back off cooldown. The flash almost up again. Just doesn't have the defense. Crash down, going to get Bible out of there. And D+, it's a little bit like dotting I's and crossing T's at this point in time. But man, if you go back to game number 1, this could be D+ fighting for the series. Because it was so incredibly close. And now, it's looking like it's going to be a 2-0. And I feel like the narrative will be that of just, they got crushed by D+. I don't think that is necessarily the whole truth of it.
Well, in this one, maybe.
I mean, this game, 100%.
As for the series, I 100% agree.
Canyon is canyoning in this particular game.
He is canyoning, really. It's just, this is, well, D+ when they look good is just really satisfying to watch because they actually play like a team. Is Kana?
Kana is not part of the team right now. He's going to get kicked back. Does go golden right at the very end. Almost gets the health back, but it's Guma that locks down the kill onto the Crocodile. And now D+ kind of falling apart. The Rel going to be taken out. Canyon looking for a re-engage. There are some lower health bars. And Showmaker is lurking. He has the ultimate. And Canyon is basically immortal. He's by himself. There are 4 of you, T1. Canyon's just wandering in front. I am confused. But he gets out. Okay.
Why did Canyon and Keria just like stand still? No, you stand still. No, I stand still.
My brain wasn't doing so well before this, and now it's really broken.
A lot of mind gaming in that one. I'm going to chalk it up to that. As this starts off, obviously, a while back with a really nice player from Canyon. Crucially, even though you cleanse, the plasma stack's still there.
Yeah.
So easy cleanup for Deft. And then here, Zeus has been trying really hard.
Oh, he's been so good.
He's been really, really good this week. And here they get the damage, but so much is thrown into specifically killing Kana, which does mean that they do lack some of the ults that I think go even further on the offensive here. As and also they didn't actually kill Showmaker, who has that's the mother lode. That's the bounty you really want and need if you want to come back in this game.
Yeah. Canyon's got an elixir of iron. He's looking to say goodnight to the game on the next engagement. They do have the Ocean Soul, which I think Canyon having that is relatively illegal. Tanner as well.
The SGA as well now. So
extra ability to get health back and stuff is something that a Renekton and a Sejuani can utilize relatively effectively. I believe Yone as well, to a certain extent, who does have the Shield Bow and Gale Force, both now built together. If you were coming from the past, you might be a bit confused. Not to be the case, though. Sundisk has been put up to just try and pretend that it's a turret. Not going to work quite as effectively, as now Canyon could be the one caught out, but no. Keria finds a knock-up, but I don't think that there's going to be an engagement onto what feels like a battle tank. He traded in Bristle. Bristle is now just chilling, and we have just a tank. It is a tank. You can see made of metal.
We're going to have the Rel conversation again.
Don't need to have that one. Not quite as metal is Bible. As Canyon just walking around this game, trying to put this this Balmy Cinder to work.
The only one who could maybe kill him would be Poby, but Poby has gone for Crown, which I think Crown is good into the D+ comp. Like, obviously, feels a little bit that. Also, Deft actually going for Ginsu's, which makes me a little sad. Was really hoping we'd go full AP, but
I think Ginsu's is still really strong, and then you can just go.
I know.
Like, I mean, I guess you just go full AP afterwards anyway, but Deft likes auto-attacking, as you know.
Right, and he's pretty good at it, so, you know, we'll forgive him, obviously. But, yeah, Poby has gone for Crown and then Nashers, and is now going for Morello's, which is not going to help you kill Canyon. And he has a lot of armor, so Guma will, with enough time, probably get close once he has his Lord Doms, which I assume, based on the zoom-in and back timing, he will have now. And that is a big moment. You know, that's something that they really need, and it's still.
Yeah. He's waiting for it, waiting, and we're ticking.
10 more.
Just a little bit more. So close. Just gonna wait. There it is.
Might lose Baron. It's okay.
There we go. Nailed it. Look at that. So many projectiles. Absolutely fantastic. Speaking of which, Keria going to try and get out of there. We'll be able to do so.
All or nothing.
No Killer Instinct going to be used. And like you say, all or nothing. Because Baron up and available. 3 minutes until the Elder is going to be spawning. DK, a possibility for Exodia to be constructed. And T1 really on their last legs here. If they do win a team fight, could be massive. But it is so difficult to get through. As I'm not sure about that one, Canyon. It was a bit of fun, as Poby is just going to get dove on by Deft regardless. glacial prison actually landing. Now it's Showmaker's turn to dive forward. Poby in some trouble as Zeus getting cut down. Canna dives into the backline, but Gumayusi's already softened up the Crocodile still. He's diving forward. Showmaker trying to get out. Oner doesn't quite find it. And the wallets, I think, ladies and gentlemen, are quite heavy. But the Blade Caller, massive, still doesn't really get them there. I almost lost my mind. But D+ will be able to run over the top of T1 here. And they should be able to finish it off, although there's not a lot of damage left.
Some flashbacks both for D+ and for Atlas as that Federico comes in. Yeah.
I mean, I saw the perfect cone.
I know. And he did have Lord Doms. Looked close there near the end for a second. And man, Guma, I don't know how much weight that guy's carrying, but he's really giving it his all, trying his best. But this one, unfortunately, with the game state the way it is not looking too hot. It does take them a large amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, the bash throws don't necessarily, like, it's blunt force, you know, that you have to utilize here.
Yeah.
Although I guess Canna's weapon looks a bit sharp, but maybe not quite sharp enough.
Well,
it is actually
doesn't matter though. Blunt is better if you're trying to take down a structure. You want like a hammer or something.
True, I guess.
I feel like a flail would be good.
Maybe it's a little bit too sharp.
Poby gets tagged, actually stays alive for a decent amount there, and then everyone on D+ kind of funnels into this, and you're like, oh. But look at Guma, how little he can actually do while the CCs come down. And that's due to Zeus and Keria going in really deep. Guma isn't really able to follow. And then here, the stopwatches are enough. Like for a second when that knock-up comes in, you're like, and then unfortunately, Guma
Keria almost won the team fight almost by themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you can see as well.
You can see that, like, man, if we had been in a better game state, the game would be over.
The comp works, Atlas.
Oh yeah.
Just not in this game.
Yeah. It works a little bit better if you're not down 10,000 gold.
Yeah.
That's my feedback. Showmaker dives in and then just gets out, as he's wont to do. Fair bit of wave clear available, and you can see Gumayusi with some time with the wave will be able to get rid of it. But as you pan down towards the rest of the base, there is not as much left remaining.
Yeah.
Which makes things a little bit more difficult. These super minions plowing forward, all buffed up by the Baron as well, making them tough to get through. So feeling a little bit like it's inevitable, but D+ gonna have to win at least another fight as Gumayusi. He's down extraordinarily low. Featherstorm comes in, and Showmaker can get pushed away from Poby, but Canna, he's still in there, just running amok in the backline, slicing and dicing around. Zeus will get stunned up for a moment, and D+ just pushing them away. It's a big cue from the Crocodile. Showmaker getting taken down extraordinarily low. The knockup doesn't land, but the Oner is still going to be taken out. Bible gets into that backline, and now it's a gigantic Crocodile that's getting the work done. The Rel going to be taken out, and Def, he cannot get back into the fight, and I think T1 may have held on.
There's the Elder.
The Elder is alive. The amount of base left for T1 is not very large.
No, they wouldn't be able to, right?
What was that cannon minion doing? Okay, that is just going to be Keria out of position. They had to try and go for it. They had to try and get there, but of course the map is so dark. As now Oner.
Run, Oner!
Yeah, he's going to find a Q, but being hunted down by a Sejuani has kind of been what's happened this game. They're going to flash for it. It's a great kickback, actually, to deny Deft, but it's still not going to quite be enough as they're picking off the stragglers one by one.
Get him! Zaya, he can't get him.
He wishes he had Ghost. Actually, no, he doesn't, because the cleanse has been pretty useful. No, he wishes he had 3 summoner spells.
Really
there we go.
One. Now, though, D+ have Elder, and you can't lose with Elder, so everything is okay. And really the key thing here is it looks a little disjointed. They feel like they've already won the fight. As mentioned, we do see them get Elder in the picture-in-picture. And the one thing that T1 comp does well is if they have enough time, because like both Poby and Guma have so much consistent DPS output, and as we can see here, it's more than enough. Again, the amount of damage that Zeus is tanking is really pivotal in allowing them to like kind of win this, but then as you point out, they have 0 map control, and they need to go in, because if they don't go in and they lose the Elder, then they also lose, right? So you kind of are forced to try and...
Deft was relatively low, by the way, Ocean Soul.
You're right. I mean,
Ocean value.
Kenyon and Kana also using it pretty well.
I do want to say this 6-2-11 Crocodile has been absolutely terrifying this game. Hats off to Kana and his performance. I think in the previous series was actually kind of alright too on the Crocodile, despite that one being much closer and Zeus being very, very strong on the Rumble. But I just want to say, you know, sometimes Kana doesn't get quite enough recognition for his good stuff. I want to give it to him. As he's now here towards the bottom side. Elixir in hand, he's got his Phage as well, as Showmaker looking to get rid of this last remaining inhibitor. Canyon, kind of by himself. He'll go back and Ocean Soul himself back up to full health as we have a minute left on this Elder Drake. And D+ just trying to get all of these super minions to crash in. Top lane inhibitor going to be taken down, so it's going to take a little while for those supers to get there. But T1, this is going to be, it's going to have to be one heck of a defense if they want to keep this one working. Inhibs coming back up, immediately going back down. And there it is, the bot lane going to go through as, okay, we've got ultis flying around.
Oh, nicely done by D+. That's already Guma's biggest defensive cooldown gone. Does still have Flash and Cleanse available.
Oh dear, the Acathian Rain is also a bit scary. There's a flash in from Keria! He goes Golden Emperor's Divide comes through, but it's not going to get rid of the Oner. Death dives into the back though, but the snapback comes in a little bit early. They do manage to take the Rakan, but he's already got a decent amount of his work done. Oner's coming over. Kana should be dead here. They will be able to take him out. All right, T1, you got a few more lives left. That was against Elder.
There's... Atlas, tell me there's no way.
There is no way.
Atlas.
I don't know whether I believe
Atlas.
that, though. Yes. Chronicler. They did very recently destroy those inhibs. So, T1, with not a lot left on the map.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
And I also know that D+ should still win this, but I
mean, that was a pretty good fight. And now they're going to be able to take 2 bounty turrets as well before they have to go home and deal with the amount of angry minions that are going to be coming through.
So they should not be able to get Baron. And I think at this point as D+, you actually just, you go full, the minions will win this.
Yes.
Stop trying to try and dive onto Guma because his positioning has been great. And as we take a look here, it feels like the game is already over, right? You have a 10k gold lead. And then here, crucially, Poby actually buys a lot of time, which means that when Showmaker goes in, there isn't enough. And Deft...
Yeah, he got carried.
Goes in and immediately gets, as you put it, very nicely Keria. And
Oner also just like randomly off screen killed Showmaker?
Yeah, Showmaker already got, because he went in, right, but without the rest of his team, so there was just a ton of burst that was fired his way. With Baron and triple inhibs down though,
I mean, it will be very difficult.
It's almost indefensible.
Yes. 2 minutes on the Elder, guys. The Baron should be able to get DK that one as well if they're not able to actually win the game. We have spoken a lot about T1's composition and the amount of late game ability that they have.
Yeah, I felt like we had to just because, but we're slowly getting there. Like we're 37 minutes in almost. Oh, they do know.
Yeah, Kana, oh, there is the flash. They get the quickness down onto the Crocodile. Kana trying to keep himself alive for as long as possible, but he is going to go down. Now D+, wanting to get some free time with these turrets, but T1 now have a man advantage. Into the backline goes Showmaker, but he's not able to find too much more. The ulti still being held onto, and yeah, the minions are the biggest problem. Nexus turret number 1 is going to go down. Defense. Okay, Canyon finds an ulti this time. But T1, they keep everyone alive. They have a fountain there as well.
Count on OTP. So if T1 can actually engage, they have the Zeus ultimate at the ready.
They do. Featherstorm's back up as well, and the Dragon Rage going to be there very, very soon.
Ooh, Death Poke should be coming up huge here.
Yeah. So more minion waves need to be sorted out here.
Zeus coming
teleport. Zeus, can you find it? There's the Ornhorn. The ulti comes out, but the knockup's there. Onto Showmaker, he dives away. Is now Zeus kind of isolated. DK just going to keep him at arm's length. And remember, T1 just have to go back and stop these Winions from taking the game. Oh, this is such a dicey scenario, but T1 are saying no to losing today.
We've had multiple Barons. We've had first Elder. What about
second
Elder?
Oh, they heard of 11sies?
So the inhibs are going to start coming back up soon as well. They will not be able to contest for specifically the Elder, but...
This is, it's feeling like it's difficult for DK to close this one out.
Actually close. So here they're trying to obviously leverage the fact that Kana has a Baron buff on the bot side wave, but they don't actually have the control to back that up at all.
And T1 actually have vision around the area. T1 do know that there is not any way for them to get the Elder.
25 seconds of both.
And D+ have had all these inhibs down. They've managed to get pushed into the base. The Baron power play, like the gold hasn't changed or anything like that. But the Elder should be enough, right?
One turret.
Yeah.
Standing between T1 and Inevitable Doom. D+, they are 99% of the way there.
Yep. And these inhibs starting to respawn as well.
Look at Deft. Oh, these Ws, especially with Elder.
Yeah, Poby has to go back. The burn is getting ridiculous. Showmaker dealing with the top inhib.
Just don't go in. Never go in, Deft.
Nope.
Don't take that kill.
The R button is a bait. Wait until 3 of them are dead.
It's a mistake.
You press it.
And now we go again. 10 seconds on the bot lane inhib. Top one's already down.
Yeah.
Gonna go back to double supers very quickly, it looks like.
Okay, Dev's gonna dive in. I don't know about that. I'm getting a bit nervous. As T1, okay, do you have the coordination to make this one work? Featherstorm going to be put on cooldown yet again.
1 minute 20 still on Elder.
This
should be able to whittle them down.
So difficult to deal with. Level 16 for a Rel, what the heck? And now Oner getting taken down so low, that burn starting to kick in one more time. Whoa! Does have a GA. So he's not dead just yet, and Zeus going to be able to block the rest of these. With GA now on cooldown, it is a little bit more difficult. Oh yeah, I'd get out of the way of that as well if I was you, Oner. Does get that health bar back.
Oh, double supers. They're on their way. They're starting to come over.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll get one before the
tower defense
drops.
is absurd, though, from T1. It's 40.5 minutes.
Playing?
No, this is nuts. Okay, Canyon looking for an ulti. He hits the Nexus, knows the target that he's supposed to be going for. I like that. It's not going to win them the game just yet. Void Seekers seem to be the game plan.
Turret's still fine.
And there's Ocean Soul as well, so it's like infinite Void Seekers. Look at this. Deft has got full mana. Is okay. We're trying again. The dive forward. Bible gets into the backline with the Magnet Storm. Emperor's Divide to get rid of them. The Ornon's decent as Canyon just looks immortal and they take down the Xayah. I think that this is it. D+, man, they had to work for it at the end there, but in the end it is going to be a 2-0 at 41 minutes in this series. They will be able to take it down. Man.